Welcome to the Los Angeles Unified School District's presentation on the Common Core Technology Project. I'm very, very honored to speak to you about our project. I'm going to talk a little bit about our history and the vision for the project. Our project was born out of the fact that many of our students did not have access to technology on par with their peers. In particular, the Office for Civil Rights found that African American students did not have technology equivalent to that in other schools throughout our district. From that and the need to embed educational technology in our instructional program as aligned with the Common Core state standards, the Common Core Technology Project was born. I have to share with you that our staff feels very, very passionately about ensuring that every single student in LA Unified has access to the world that technology opens up for them. We consider this their civil right. It's not a luxury, it's not an add-on. It's something that they have a right to, and we work every day to ensure that every single one of our students has access to that piece. Let me talk a little bit about what we mean by that. While there's a lot of talk in our city about the deployment of the actual devices, and our amazing team has spent most of the year refining the process of deployment and all the elements and components that my teammates are going to talk to you about today. Most of our year has been spent working on deployment and refining that process, but the whole goal of that obviously is to ensure that each one of our students has this tool to open up a whole nother world for them, a world that encourages and facilitates the innovation, the creativity that's already inside of them, and we feel very, very strongly about that. We're not making this happen for our students, it's already inside of them, and we owe it to them to give them the tools necessary to bring it out. So today, as my incredible teammates speak to you about our project, please remember that which they're talking to you about is a means to an end, and that end is ensuring that every single one of the students at LA Unified graduates from 12th grade ready to go to university or into a career in which they will thrive. Thank you so much.
I was one of the first teachers back in 1984 that got an Apple computer, and it changed everything that I did as a classroom. And together, me and the students, we learned, and it's been a great ride. And now, one of the first schools that have an iPad back in 2011. And so we are trying to move past the modification stage of teaching and learning using technology to redefining what we're doing. And I can truly say that's what's happening in our school. I can also say that last year we had one of the highest improvements in the KC passage of over 25% of our 10th graders, and our API went over 50 points. So it not only has an impact on the way we teach and the way we learn, but some of our scores went up last year. And I'm very thankful to be a part of this program.
As the leader, I felt it was important to take away teachers' fear of failing, or feeling like if I'm not doing this the way someone else is doing it, then I'm in trouble and something is wrong. Absolutely no way to fail it, no evaluations. We are just all in this together. 2, I felt that as leader, it was important for the staff to see my own technological vulnerabilities. I am not what I would call a techie person. I'm probably at some tech in my own self-rating. And it was okay for me to fail in front of them, to try to use my iPad in a meeting and it not work, and they see my solution, which is to shut it off and move on, and be okay with that. They needed to know that I didn't feel that I was so superior that they couldn't come to me if they failed or get ideas. Thirdly, they needed to know that I was going to fight for them to get all the support that they needed.
I think what's really important about the project is that we now have the ability to add another element into our classroom that is going to stimulate our students even further than we already do with our own lessons. We add another dimension to how we're not only delivering instruction, but even assessing what our students are learning. But most importantly, we give them a tool that they can use not only as they're learning, but as they're practicing what they've learned.
In spite the frustrations, the obstacles, what my mother would call the rigmarole surrounding the implementation of this program, I think everything that we have to put up with is worth it in putting the technology in the hands, directly in the hands of the students that we serve. This will help them to be 21st century ready, for sure.
We're preparing our students for their tomorrow, not our tomorrow, but their tomorrow. It makes learning endless. It helps and supports students in becoming the global leaders that we know they can become. and without having this one-on-one connection, or almost like this intimacy with technology, they won't make it. They won't be successful. So it's imperative that they have not only the technologies, but they have the resources, which they do in the teacher and in the school leadership to be successful. iPads, there's going to be just an array of those that are really ready to receive the technology, and then there's going to be those who are just anti-technology, almost to the point. I started by looking for those little lights of hope, those that were ready, and I started by focusing
We have some concerns, of course, about security and about, I guess, the digital citizenship of our students and how they will treat, these tools. And hopefully there won't be a lot of, misbehavior around the tools, but they learn to respect them and utilize them in the proper manner. That's basically our concern with it. But aside from the concerns, there's a lot more upside to what the technology can do for our students.
Teachers took the challenge and flew. They have taken it upon themselves to learn various apps, to develop projects that the students can complete themselves. And my students are incredibly excited to teach the adults. What I would love to see is my teachers developing projects that the students complete in order to showcase their learning. Whether it's through an iMovie, an iBook, a keynote presentation, but I really want to see what the children are capable of doing and what they've learned that's outside of the paper, pencil, or poster
We're moving to a
presentation.
future where technology is going to be everywhere, and it's already everywhere. In addition to that, during my time as a classroom teacher, I found that using technology, I could individualize instruction for my students. Rather than trying to manage a whole classroom full of students on all different levels, the technology was able to use to figure out where each of those kids were and really tailor instruction to meet their individual needs as a kid. As a teacher, I found that technology became a time saver, so I was spending less time doing things like grading and sorting and filing, and more time doing things that actually mattered, such as data analysis or preparing lessons or facilitating student interactions with each other. And that's the future where we're going, and that's what I think we're excited to be a part of.
The idea of enhancing our instructional program with technology is going to move our kids into the 21st century with confidence.
You cannot wait to start talking to your parents about it. You cannot wait to talk to your students about the responsibilities, the benefits of the technology that is coming our way. I know that the Board of Education is from time to time going back and forth if they are going to approve phase 2, phase 3, and so on, but you cannot wait. I think this is the time you have to start talking to your teachers, you have to start talking to your parents, and you have to start making sure that the message gets across that it is coming and you're going to be part of it, and you have to be ready for it. I am already talking to my parents, even though I don't have the equipment. I came to NIMITS a year ago, and even then I started talking to my students about the responsibilities of technology, how responsible they are with anything that is in their iPads, in their phones, the consequences that could happen, the legal ramifications of everything. So start talking to your parents. Get everybody involved, get your committee together, and move forward.
This is the most exciting thing to happen to me professionally in many years. I've been waiting for the opportunity to bring technology, one-to-one learning into the school and the classrooms, because this is what our students are utilizing in their daily lives to move forward. And it's time that we meet them where their learning and their engagement is. So I'm very excited, and my entire school community is very excited about this.